podcast. I'm Justin Horo, joined as always by Willie.
What a move!
I swear it's my favourite part of the show.
Pisses myself.
I get that into it. We're getting a few messages in the on the YouTube comments and whatnot. People are loving it. But the Triple OG, Willie Mason, joined as always. We're going to get into just a couple of little Origin yards. It's a shortened preview this week, OG. Obviously, the Origin is next week, so there's only 5 games. So this is round 13 preview. Not a lot has changed in the last couple of days.
No.
A little bit of chat in and around Origin.
Yeah, there always is.
But that'll build as the week goes on.
That will build. It'll build. They'll start coming up with some sort of narrative. They just need to. There'll be like little things like so whatever you say during Origin. Remember when was it last year when Toto said something?
What was that? Which one was that?
I forget. One of the players said something. And they just build it up and build it up. I think it was about the Samoan team or something like that.
Yeah.
I think one of the boys.
Yeah, it was. He declared it.
Yeah.
For Samoa.
He said it during the Origin period, and and all the blokes, the guys who were doing it anyway, like Junior Paulo and that, didn't say shit.
Just kept it on.
But they kept on fucking Toto. So you just be careful. All these young men who are in Origin camp, just stick to Origin.
Yep.
Stick to the script.
Yeah,
stick to the script. You don't need any bulletin board material. You don't need anything like that.
We'll give it to them.
Yeah, we can do it because we're not out there. We don't have to put my head won't be on a plate every single game. So, I think they're going to build up nice and slowly. They're getting into camp and just sort of find their feet, all that kind of stuff. Guys, we've got some new debutants for New South Wales. So they'll be for the first couple of days for these guys, man. It's nerve wracking. It is nerve wracking, man.
I can imagine. Obviously. I'm a proud Kiwi, and the pinnacle for me would have been to play for the Kiwis, but I understand the beast of what State of Origin is. We're going to get to some Origin yarns from your time before we get in the show, but do you buy into the narrative started by our mate Uncle Buzz on 360, the loyalty that has died with Queensland off the back of the Kalen Ponga and Dane Gagai news? Because we touched on it a little bit, but
yeah, we do. But the way that Buzz puts it, right?
Is this just like a media thing?
Can we get it quote? Like, can we get it say? I mean, I think Buzz sometimes loses touch with what's happening with clubs and Origin and that. Like, I know Queensland is known for being loyal, but they're not fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, Gags is not playing as well. Kalen Ponga is a liability at the moment if he gets hit. Do you not see that, Buzz? If you understand the game, if you understand you've been watching Kalen Ponga, he's played 2 full games in fucking 2 years. I mean, in a year or so. In a year. Is he ready?
That knock that he received that put him out for an extended period of time was just after Origin 3.
Yeah, so hopefully that comment is taken out of context. So, like, stuff that hopefully he's saying this before that. Understanding that he has played 2 full games.
You're not watching 360 to get the full context.
I don't fucking watch the show. I only watch for Braith.
Love you, Braith.
But that's about it. But hopefully he's thinking, okay, well, Kalen Ponga's played 2 full games in a year. He just got a head knock that's been going against him. Walsh is in the top 5 players in the comp at the moment.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? Like KP, he has delivered on the Origin scene massively. So has Gags. You know what I mean? So but they're trying to. I would have went with Gags before KP. Put it that way.
Okay.
I honestly would have, because I think Walsh is playing at such a high level, and I just think KP needs. They will hopefully use him in this series.
Yep.
But
is that more
because of that one hit?
Is that more because you think the position that Hamiso, for instance, is going to come in for Gags? You think Walshy's probably more established and more ready than what Hamiso might be?
And it's probably me being biased. I want Hamiso to play fucking centre.
Yeah.
Because guess who he's going to go up against? Latrell or Turbo?
Yeah,
take your pick. I don't care.
Yeah.
And does he care? Like, do you reckon Latrell cares if it's Val or Hamiso?
I don't think.
And do you think Turbo gives a fuck either?
I don't think Latrell would care if Turbo was marking him.
He doesn't care, Latrell, mate. I sat next to him at the True Blues when the Blues got announced.
How was that? How was a good night?
It was a great night. It was a great night. Danny Badiris, a close friend of mine, played all my Origins with him, played a hell of a lot of tests. We won a lot of things together, and just to see him get Hall of Fame.
You both Newcastle boys?
Yeah,
so
Newcastle boys, mate.
Yeah.
Played 3 years, the back end of our career together, but we played I think 6 or 7 years of Origin, and 3 kangaroo tours and a lot of memories there. One of the greatest blokes, so humble, and he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. They always say, like, when they say pick your starting 13, Willie, he's my 9.
Yeah. That's because
And
I know
that's
you got
fucking
mad respect for
massively.
Smitty.
And I love Cameron Smith, but I'm like, I reckon played 12 tests with Bedsy and 12 tests with Cam.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I've been to war with both.
So last week you played half your career with Joey and Thurston, and you got Badira's. Fuck you, we're right in the middle.
It was right in the middle of a great era, And, you know, Bedsy's my dude, because I think, you know, when you play Origin together and you go to war together at that level, it's just different. And he was a captain, man. You know what I mean? So, like, no one's going to... I mean, people will argue. Queenslanders will argue. But, I mean, like, people who play... Andrew Johns will pick Danny Badiris over him.
Yeah, of course.
I'd expect that. But, like, you'd see a lot of forwards in my position that were New South Wales forwards that played with him, Jason Riles and all those sort of blokes. You'd be picking Bedsy.
Yep.
And he's a great bloke, but he deserves everything. He'll be in the Hall of Fame for Australia. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He just got picked in the Hall of Fame for New South Wales, so well done.
Yeah, congrats.
But it was a great night. We had all the players... all the current players sitting with the players of just like the 2000s, 2010s, which was really good.
Yep.
A little bit disappointed in the lack of players from our era that didn't show up.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not going to name names, but I'm like, where the fuck is everyone? Usually it's packed. Like, we love that. We love that night.
Yeah.
You know?
How many numbers do you think?
Man, like, usually there'd be like 20 of us, 25 of us around.
From the 2000s to 2010s.
Yeah. And I was just like, it would have been like fucking 10, 15. I was like, where is everyone? You know what I mean? So that was a little bit disappointing. Obviously, everyone's got their own lives, and, you know, but, you know, guys like Kurt Gidley coming from Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know, like, there was a lot of people travelling from Wollongong and all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of our era are involved in coaching at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's still fucking Monday night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just that little bit of an effort. And you
Betsy
see, and plus Betsy getting inducted.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have given us a little bit of an inkling that Betsy was going to get inducted.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know.
Yeah, okay.
And the great Mick Cronin got inducted as well.
Oh, awesome.
And he's like, he's one of the greats.
Jaron
Gong boy.
Yeah, Mick Cronin was my dad's first ever NRL coach.
Yeah, he's the king.
Yeah,
like, and I just think, and I love seeing those older blokes there. We stood on the shoulders of those guys, the 70s and the 80s. You know, that's why the game is what it is now. That's why Origin is what it is now.
The OGs.
That's why Origin is, and that's when you see all these great players. You know, they're all getting on. You know, they don't have another 50 years in them. Put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, they're
So
all
it's nice
battling
to be
along,
around
and it's
them.
always good to sit there and have a chat with the greats that played in the 80s and the 90s. I'm not saying 90s, not playing in the 2000s, but especially the 70s and 80s. You see those guys, and they're getting around about 70s and 80-year-old like Mick Cronin, just sitting there having a chat with them, and, you know, it's just great to see those guys, and just, you know, they really appreciate what we've done for the game, you know, and then, you know, they've got the guys now, they understand, they really respect what the guys did in the 70s and 80s and the 90s and 2000s, because obviously we stood on the shoulders of the guys that created Origin.
Yep.
Mick Cronin was in that first Origin.
Yep.
When Artie Beetson, he filled in that story.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like, you know how everyone's like, yeah, Artie Beetson punched the shit out of Mick Cronin. That's how fucking Origin started. Yeah, that was a bit of it.
Yeah.
He goes, I've seen Artie throw him. And he goes, if you fucking threw one, he goes, I'm not getting up.
Yeah.
He goes, so it was just a part, you know, everything gets better and better every year. So he's like,
Chinese whispers, the stories get better.
mate, they flew home together.
Yeah.
You know, they had a few beers and everything like that. But that's how Origin started.
That's the beauty of Origin, right?
That's the beauty of Origin. Because we sit there,
mate.
mate, there's photos of like me and Hodjo and GI and that straight after the game. You're sitting there and just having a beer straight away.
I love that picture.
You know what I mean?
You and Hodgie
you just
together.
like try and kill each other for 80 minutes, and then it's just like, so that started the mate versus mate, state versus state.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And it was great to see Mick Cronin up there, but it was good just sitting there and just like sort of chopping up with Trell and Payne Haas and Junior Paulo and Big T. Tavita was there sitting at the table, and you know, they were all around. Liam Martin, all the boys were scattered around between 4 tables so we can get up and have a chat with everyone. And
did you get a chance to have a decent chat with Tavita?
yeah, I did. He was sitting between me and Oga.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
and Big Junior. So it was good, man. He's excited. You can see he's a bit of it, like he's.
We always talk about that look in his eye.
Yeah, you can see
He's a week out. How's he
Well, he's
looking?
just sort of soaking it in.
Okay,
You know, I just said, Oga, that's what I said to him. Like, Oga's played a hell of a lot of Origins as well, and I said, just learn from all these guys how they approach games, approach training.
Yeah.
They're switched on all the time. There's never off button. You know how these forwards, attack training.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you know what he can bring back to the Bulldogs. that level of intensity all the time. And it's never off with these guys, the Isaiahs, the Cam Murrays, do you know what I mean? The Liam Martins, they're never off.
Yeah.
And like Origin training is never off.
Well, speaking of never off, I put up a post last night. Who would win in an ice bath showdown off the back of our content? 69% to the OG, 31% TPJ. They know the rules. You've got a 70-30 split there, brother.
Exactly.
I'm so looking forward to him. There's been a lot of chat. He's probably the biggest storyline, I guess, so far of Origin. Not a lot of people not only seen him getting selected, but obviously starting as well. Yeah. And the influence that he'll have early on in the game. And someone brought up a good point. Just takes a little bit of pressure off Payne Haas as well. Payne Haas.
Him and Payne Haas will work well together.
Yeah,
be
I
great.
think that'd be a good combination.
Payne Haas, they
know
Haas,
each other.
Yeah, they've got a good relationship together. They work hard together. They got that bond. They played at Brisbane together. They come through the grades, sort of not the grades, but they come through as the first graders together.
Yep.
So yeah, you got Junior Paulo on the bench still.
Yep.
He's a beast. He's just made for Origin.
It's a good rotation, man.
It's a great rotation.
Very intimidating rotation.
And who else? You got Liam Martin. I think he can just come on and just be anything.
He'll play in the middle.
Cam Murray. You know what I mean? It's such a well-balanced pack. You got, Hudson, Frizzell. They're all very interchangeable players. Even, like T can be on an edge.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get the best out of T, the way he starts. You do not start you don't do block plays or anything in Origin when you start in front row.
Well, I've got a point. I was listening to the radio yesterday and someone was talking about, if you weren't going to play Jakey because of injury, then why have they picked Tavita? I was like, you almost don't need a Jakey. So Jakey's obviously defensively, he's an enforcer. But he's a bit of a ball player as well. Like, he's got that nice shape. He can do it. He doesn't do it for Origin because you got Isaiah and Cam Murray. Well, you don't really need a third ball playing player, do you? Because those two can run it. So if Isaiah Yo's off, then you got Cam Murray. He can come on and play that role. So you don't need that third ball playing.
You don't need it, no. You need a destructive.
Like a Jack DeBellin who could play that role. You just need someone who's going to run a line and lay the line.
And T can play that part if he wants, but I want T to play how he plays, destructive.
100%. That's
just
not
go
his
in
strength.
there and get we've got a great back five, and we're doing in the middle of the field. Just say Payne Haas takes that third hit up, get on the back of that.
Yeah.
Or get support Isaiah. That's his sort of role. It's the
Fisher
hardest
Harris,
job.
Leota role.
Yes.
Drop under, lay me
Drop
line.
under. And Isaiah will dictate that.
Yes.
He'll know whether he wants the ball either a little bit wider of the ruck or straight off the 9.
Yep.
So Isaiah knows about that. Otherwise, Isaiah can easily slip out the back. He's very interchangeable himself, and he's very smart. His IQ's very smart. He had a bit to do a couple of years ago with T.
Yep.
With that Penrith run.
when he went.
Yeah,
to
so he understands how T can play.
Yep.
But his main thing is his ball running. Just fucking run the ball as hard as you can.
That'll be
create an offload. Don't look for the offload. You create offloads if you
it's
can.
there, yeah.
You know what I mean? Queensland, they're
Run
a
first
different
mentality.
beast. They're a different beast. So it's good. Like, I'm glad that he's got this opportunity to show how good he is because, as I said, it's been 2 or 3 years they've been waiting for him to arrive. He's 27 years old. I expected him to play about 3 years ago.
Who, Tavita?
Tavita,
yeah. Freddie said he's been on the radar for a minute.
A few injuries here and there, and then I think that that second stint against the Titans when he really went it Tino, went it for Feeder.
Yeah.
And I expect that times 10.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is round 13 preview. That was some really good Origin chat. We're going to get to more Origin chat. I'd also like to give our sponsors a big shout out because we're going to be going to Origin, Mace. The Tab are flying us down. Next week, we're going to be in Adelaide. Got some cool little gigs in and around the casino before. Actually, I might even just get it up. I'll get the email up right now to look at some a rough idea of what we're doing. So we are going to actually, you know what? We'll save it to next week because we're going to do the show on Monday and I'll have it all properly set up. So if you're in and around Adelaide for Game 1 next week, me and Mace will be down there. We've got little Lukey on the camera as well. There'll be some content. It's not necessarily going to be a vlog, but we're going to be updating all across Levels Network on the Tab channels. So if you see us down there, come and say hi, and I'll let you know what our plans are next week on Monday, just before we break down Origin, and we'll go through our X factors, we'll go through our weaknesses, our smoky little bets around player of the series, maybe nice and early, Mace, who we think is going to be player of the match. So looking forward to that next week.
Let's go.
And as always, make sure you like and subscribe. We're at 6.5 OG. They're climbing. We want to get to 10K. Good. That's the goal. 10K within the next. Oh, we're at 7. We're at 7. We're at 6-7. We're at 6-7. 6-7. Lukey in the background. He's got no mic. I can see the fucking hands going 6.7, chasing that 10. We talked about the tab. There's going to be plenty of tab chat later on with our Bets Friends channel at the tab. Also, a lot of love and for our partners, BodyScience, we've got the high protein vanilla here. You can get that currently available at Woolworths, online at bodyscience.com.au and in independent supplement retailers. Mace, you've already sculled it. Our ready-to-drink vanilla and chocolate shakes. Mace already did a number on it just before the show, and that is currently available in Coles online at bodyscience.com.au and in an independent supplement retailer.
I already had my coffee hit brain fuel this morning.
Grouse.
Because we're filming. What's the time?
Yes.
We're filming at 7:30 this morning, so I was like, straight away.
Need to be sharp.
Need that hit.
Need to be sharp for the preview.
Yeah.
Nothing but love for our partners, Tab and BSC. They are the OGs of their respective industries. All right, Mace, we hinted at it before. Origin yarn. So, you talked a little bit about the old boys night. Back in the day, it probably would have been a little bit different. So... Yeah. The format has changed a little bit now, OG, and why is that?
The format's changed. I think a lot of the players, I think it's in folklore now. They're like, "Fuck, you're getting fucked up bonding nights, didn't it, mate?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did." It did.
So run us through what happens. So when you get into camp, you're selected the first night. Who leads it?
So you're in there on Sunday, right?
On Sunday,
so
okay.
There's no dinner. There's none of this True Blue stuff. There's no announcing the team to everyone like that. You get in there on Sunday.
Did they have heaps of media in around when you arrived, like they do now?
No. You come sliding in whenever you want. You come down. The media is just in one room.
Yep.
So you just go and get your room key, boom, straight up the Coogee.
Yep.
And then you might have a couple of beers in your room or anything like that.
How quickly do you drop the bag off?
Oh, mate, it's fucking down. Where's the room? Where's all the boys at? There's a room. There's a designated room where some of the boys are having beers or they're already down the bar already.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And they'll pick and choose. If you're a vet, who gives a shit?
Yep.
Most of the rookies go down there, do all the media, come in and out, a few photos, in and out, fucking done.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty quick. But the media,
I reckon even if you're a rookie, you're still not doing the media. You're sitting with the vets.
They're begging me to do it. I'm saying, nah, I'm fucking done. When I first came in, it was like Andrew Johns, it was Brad Fittler, there was Trent Barrett, there was all these greats, and I think that was 2002, 3, and then 2004 was the year.
02 was your first year.
03, yeah.
03.
03. And then 04 is when bonding nights ended forever. It's just when. So not going to name names. Yep. So straight to the Clover Valley Hotel after all the media commitments.
Who's leading the front? And can you say who's the leader of the pack? Who's the OG?
Myself, Minicello, Craig Gower.
Yeah. Craig Gower.
Yeah, Craig Gower. We had
Craig Gower's got some good. I've heard some
Trent Waterhouses, Gaz.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was just.
Loves it.
There was some, and we're all 23 years old, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus.
Early
Christ.
to mid 20s.
In your prime. All in our prime. Big Ogre was there, Bobcat, all that kind of stuff. It was a good gang, just a really good gang. So at Clover Valley Hotel.
Yep.
And
great spot, Clover Valley Hotel.
Fucking Sam Bookers was the first shot. The first round. For about 5 or 6 rounds, Sam Bookers.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who it was, like it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Bang, go back, and then you start drinking. Get the bus, go back to Coogee. And back then it was like, wasn't any rules about not going out. So Gus was the coach.
Yep.
He just went to bed. He didn't give a fuck. Boom. And then so everyone's like, mate, so can we go out? Can we go out? And I'm like, oh, well, I'll ask the assistant coach. I'm not going to mention his name. He goes, yeah, you go do what you want, whatever. Boys, now then, so 12 or 13 of us are in fucking 3 or 4 different cabs on the way to the Empire on a Sunday night about 1 o'clock.
Best.
We all pour out. Fucking remember the double vodka Red Bulls?
Best.
Double vodka Red Bulls.
My first memories of meeting you was double vodka Red Bulls.
Double vodka Red Bulls. It was just that non-stop until about. So we had our own security then. Till about 6 in the morning. So we had fitness a session at 9. I think it's just say 9:30, 10 o'clock at Coogee Oval. That's all we had. That was our commitment. Just get there. Yeah. Who cares what shape you're in? Just be there. Shut up. Who cares? So 13 or 14 of the 17 are out. All right.
Can you name the two or three that weren't out?
No, I don't know. But maybe Luke Rooney. Luke Rooney and Luke Lewis.
Yeah.
And maybe someone else.
Proper pups during that time,
they never drank.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other one was. 6 o'clock, we walk out and just fucking, so security was just like, security goes, oh, you got to come home. We're going home. We're going to a fucking early opener or some shit in Petersham, and people went to the fucking casino and this and that. So we all split up after that.
Yeah, the Cass is a good option.
Yeah. So next minute it was about 8:30, right? We're still in this pub, about 5 of us. And
Training's at 10.
Train's at 10. I'm like, how are we going to get? There's no Ubers, there's no nothing like that. It's
Yeah.
Main Street, George Street, Broadway. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Boys are at the Cass. This is when there's no phone. So at that time, there was no phones.
Yeah, true. So you can't even communicate
but at that
with
time,
each
if you understand what was going on back then, one person made a phone call.
Yeah.
Not going to name names. If you know about the game and you know what happened,
Yeah.
then you'll know.
Yeah.
So someone made a phone call on the way from Coogee to the Empire. So we're thinking everything's fucking gold. Who cares?
Yeah.
Get home when we want, do fitness, who cares? Whatever. So I'm like, how are we going to get home? So it was me and 3 other people. And we're like, we're going to have to catch a bus. So we're like, we'll catch a bus. So we couldn't get a cab because it was just jam-packed. They were just pretty much going, fuck off. Like, you're not going to get 4 big footballers in there. Bang, I said, boys, we're going to catch a bus. Just pull your heads in. Don't say shit, all right? Yeah. And then, so this is when the bus, I hadn't been on a bus for ages. So like, at the front, you sit across from each other, right? So we were sitting across from each other, and then someone was sitting this way, and the other one was up the back there facing that way. So I'm looking at my mate, who's very inebriated at that time. I'm like, hold your shit together. Yeah. And he's got a pie and a sausage roll, right? No one near him. Everyone's just sort of looking at us going, fuck, this is
Willie Mason.
Yeah. They knew what was going on. And I was just like, just sitting there going,
trying to act heaps normal.
how you going, guys? And just like with my head down there, and my mate was facing me, so I'm facing this way. Next minute, bus, boom, on the brakes. Whoa. He's flown all the way over and stuck. He's stuck behind the bus. You know, there's that little bit of a gap.
Yeah, the little gap.
A little gap. Yeah. So he's stuck behind the bus. And fucking everyone is fucking pissed themselves because he couldn't get out. He couldn't get out. So I had to get up and help him out and just rip him up. So he said, as I said, he had pie and sausage roll.
Yeah. Did he drop him?
No, but all over his face. All over his face. And I'm just going, wipe your face. And like, fuck, the whole bus was pissing themselves. Absolutely pissing themselves. I'm just like, oh, fuck. Anyway, we get off, straight into training, boom, elevator, kit straight on, walk down to Coogee Oval, fucking tons of media. Expected. It's like, it's the Monday.
Yeah, they want to catch up.
And then I remember who it was, Stevie Hart, still a good friend of mine. He goes,
we seen him.
Stevie Hart. Yeah, so that's why we have that old connection.
Oh, awesome.
So Stevie Hart, I was like, remember I told you, I said we got some fucking good yarns.
Yeah.
So we roll down there thinking everything's fine, right? What did we do wrong? We called a bus home. Who gives a fuck? And then Stevie goes, oh, you're up for media. I said, oh yeah, I'll have a chat with him. He goes, so how was last night? I said, yeah, it was good. Straight faced. Yeah. You know what I'm like? Professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. He goes, heard some of you guys called a bus home. I said, nah, man, just
even
walked off.
Even back in that day, so quickly.
So quickly. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm thinking that's the worst that can happen, right? Not knowing about this phone call.
I assumed that story would have broke like a couple of days in the camp.
Nah, it was like, you guys, someone called a bus home. Fuck. Do you know who it was? Yeah. And he laughed. And I said, I wouldn't have a clue, and just ran off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the fitness was 50 meter sprints.
Yeah.
That's a fucking.
Was it? Did you say it was Gus? Gus,
yeah. So Gus
did that to us when.
So Ronnie Palmer was the coach.
Yeah.
Ronnie. So we're all sitting on the 50-50s on the Origin. So, yeah. Fuck. Straight away. So like bang, and all I remember was like Luke Lewis is like never drank and all this sort of shit, and we had 50. It was 50. It was like we did like 70s, like 53 to go. 43 to go, and I said, "You shut the fuck up, Louis, because you do not unless it's 7 to go. Just shut the fuck up."
Yeah,
blokes are spewing this and that, and just fucking whatever. Anyway, who cares? You just got through it. Anyway, we're sitting around. So we had a coffee later, and we're sitting around. And then next minute, the transcript comes out about what got said to that person.
Yep.
And so we're all sitting around. There's about 5 of us trying to debrief.
Yep.
And I'm like, I wouldn't say shit like that. I didn't have my phone or anything. And then like, you said no. And then the person who did it is sitting there with his head down going, fuck, that's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Didn't see him for 2 games. So from that, we went back home, and that was the end of bonding nights. It happens. It still happens. They don't get me wrong. They still have a beer.
But you can't go out to like.
They can't. You're not hitting the streets.
Yeah.
You're not hitting the streets because the amount of bullshit there. So we all got fined. Whoever went out all got fined their match payment and all that kind of stuff, and you had to face your judiciary and all that sort of shit. But old mate got his that was his first Origin. He didn't even get to play. He didn't come into game 3.
Oh, because I obviously know who it is. Do you do your own research?
People know who it is. Yeah, I just don't want to put his name back in it. So but it was one of the fucking loosest nights and the best night, and the amount of shit that come out of that was fucking ridiculous. The amount of fabricated bullshit stories, it was fucking unbelievable. Like we're just saying, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? You know, it's just everyone just started making some shit out that we were doing this, and this. I'm like, fuck off. All we did went from Empire straight to the Star City, straight to this. You know what I mean?
Got a pie and a sausage roll. Got on a bus.
Got on a bus. Didn't say anything. And you hear all these reporters saying it was the funnest bus trip, all this kind of stuff. They were very like polite. We didn't because we didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And you hear all these. They were just trying to like just make shit up. Anyway. That officially ruined bonding nights forever.
So apologies to Trell last night.
So even there,
Junes, all the boys.
Trell, all the boys are just going.
You get to have a sneaky beer.
Like, what the fuck do you do, bro? I'm like, don't blame me. He's not even here. The guy who did it.
Well, there you go. There's a shout.
But they still have a good time. Queensland always have a good time. They always got the bonding nights. They just do it in different ways. Can't be out in public.
They get the cacks and they just proper lock it down.
They lock it down. Yeah, you can't lock it down in Sydney.
I think they fucking close the doors. That's
that's Queensland.
That's the beauty of having fucking Caxton, Suncorp, in things in and around there. They proper look after them in that sense.
So that's just one of many. But that's the end of bonding nights.
Yeah,
changed the landscape of Origin forever. Because usually it was the funnest shit ever.
You put the Origin boys on curfews after that fucking.
It's all curfew.
Yeah. That's unreal. What about getting to the actual game, mate? So we've talked a lot about the ultimate respect. We mentioned in the story about a coup back in the day. You've mentioned it about when you played the Titans. Tino's got to be head on a plate. Head on a plate means a player you cut the head off a snake, and then the rest of the body will fall. When you played against Queensland in your time, almost. If it wasn't really a head on a plate, who was the guy that you looked across in the forward pack and you're like, man, I've got to make sure I'm up for it against him because that'll set us up.
Yeah, it was the hardest job. It was Petro.
Yeah.
Petro
was that dude.
Easier said than done. Do you know what I mean?
It was so hard, bro.
And it's not like I wanted to ever fight Petro either.
Yeah, just stop his momentum.
There was a couple other blokes I'd want to fight, but it's just like they weren't as dominant as Petro. Do you know what I mean? Like he was just that dude. Like he just wouldn't stop. He was just like it'd be like hitting a fucking brick wall.
He was hard as nails.
And he'd flog you, man. You know
could
what I
only
mean?
imagine in Origin.
But with a smile on his face. You know what I mean?
So
I'm like,
nice, eh?
I can't fucking, I could never get angry at Petro. I could get angry at anyone.
Yeah.
Especially in the NRL and especially at Origin.
Yeah.
Like me and Nate Miles nearly went at it. We're best mates.
Yeah.
Not Petro. Because we both played the game tough and fair, but it was like he
played it a bit fairer than what you did because you didn't mind fucking getting
and he would fucking hit you as hard as he could.
Yeah,
he'd play the game. He'd play big minutes. He'd be fatigued. We'd be like because we played some fucking real brutal test matches together. We went to war together, and then we go to war against each other, and then we'd shake hands after the game. It's just like you just had to try and stop his first couple of hit-ups because he fucking, once he gets going, quick play the balls, it all comes off him. Then the Cam Smiths come into it. The fucking Darren Lockies, the JTs, and Billy Slaters. Yeah. Off that one play ball.
You could never put him on his back.
No.
He'd just always fall
You'd have to
forward.
manage. You manage because he had it. People don't understand. So when he used to run, he used to lean in like that. Yeah. He had a real little goosey and then a lean. And then bang, all this was like, back then you could have these pads. I like fiberglass.
Yeah.
They weren't like it is now. They come and check your pads and there's got to be a certain amount of softness. Yeah. Nah, not back then. So when we were wearing these pads, this whole fucking thing was hard, cement. Yeah. He's cement anyway.
Yeah.
And so he'd lean in like that and like, I've seen blokes crack their ACs and like shoulders and that just trying to hit him. Yeah. So it was more or less.
He concussed me once.
It was more or less just coming up, stopping his momentum, chopping his legs, and then trying to roll him off because wrestling wasn't big back then.
Yeah.
Brisbane wasn't doing it. He was just big, strong, fast, and all that kind of stuff. So when we started trying to manage him, but then he'd get off the back fence and all that kind of stuff. Then he'd have his Nate Miles and Sam Thaidays and all these other blokes like
Webke.
Yeah, explosive sort of blokes. So when Webby would go, he'd get that second phase, and then that was the one that they would go after.
It's
then
a
a long
1-2
shift.
punch, eh?
Yeah,
Matt
and
Scott.
then because sometimes Petro used to play in the back row because Steve Price would be in the front row.
Yep.
So Price used to play those block
And
plays.
Steve Price. Fuck,
Yeah.
they've had some good
And they used to
fucking
fucking, and then Nate Miles and Sam Thaiday and then fucking, Matt Scott.
Yeah.
They just kept rolling. And they
still are rolling in the pack, eh?
They
They've
don't
always
give a
had
fuck,
strong,
mate. Yeah.
Strong middles.
And we've both had strong packs.
Yeah.
They've just had that brilliance of Cam Smith, Cooper Cronk, Darren Lockyer, JT, Billy Slater, GI.
Yeah.
Israel Folau even. You're talking fucking Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers, man. Against we had a decent back line as well, but we just didn't have, once Joey and Freddie and Baz and that sort of retired from that sort of
Three
level.
immortals. All right, Cam's immortal. JT's immortal. I reckon they're both
Bill,
locks.
same as Bill.
And GI.
I
think
Bill and GI.
And Lockie.
And Lockie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
5 fucking Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Right there,
GI.
nearly
I
Hall
think
of Fame
GI's a lot
easy.
as well,
Hall of Fame easy. They'll be pushing for an immortal status.
Yeah. I think Cam, JT, and GI are locks, and I think there's a really good argument, and they'll be right on the fringe, Billy and Lockyer.
And Cronk.
And Cronk
Kronk's
because of the resume.
Kronk's resume is going to be up there with one of the greats. I don't think he will be an immortal, but because you've got so many other guys, you'd probably be 60 or 70 and he'll be an immortal.
Yeah.
Well, look how long fucking Mick Cronin had to wait to be a Hall of Fame for New South Wales.
Yeah.
70-something.
Yeah.
So, that team was a juggernaut, man. But, people that we wanted to put head on a plate was Webby and Petro.
Yeah.
Fucking easy said than done.
What was Webby
And they were my OGs as well.
Yeah.
I'm this young kid. They're 6-7 years
They're
older than me.
established.
They're established
In their
guys.
prime.
In their prime, and I've got to go at them. Because I'm starting prop, I'm starting back row, or whatever it is. You got to go at it.
Yeah.
You had me, you had Rolsey and Marco Mealy and all these sort of blokes. We had to go at these guys. And we're all younger than them. So it's like a mental thing as well. It's you got so much respect for them because we've been on kangaroo tours with them. We've been, and you've spent 12 weeks together.
There's a different edge back in the day than what there is now, right? If you're an older guy, there was a proper
big edge.
Proper edge.
Yeah. Because you know why? They punch the shit out of you as well.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? There was a level of you fuck around with me, you fuck around with Gordon Tallis, he'll put a 3-piece on you before you even fucking move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Webke will have a crack at you. You know what I mean? But you had a certain amount of, had so much respect for those guys. It'd be you wouldn't cheap shot them. You wouldn't do anything. It'd be all fucking above board sort of shit. There wouldn't be no fucking coming in third man trying to hit him cheap. There wouldn't be anything like that. You had to because they would be non-stop going at you and they'd expect it back.
Yeah.
They expect it back.
Did you hear the yarn on Kempy interviewed Gordon Tallis and he reckons people were starting to fuck with him at the back end of his career because they thought he could get away with it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily Ben Ross's fault in that yarn. It was such a good micro clip from Kempy. Shout out to the Beak. He just said people were fucking with me too much, and he's like,
Gordy was like
I
that,
just have
man.
to let someone know. How good's that to hear?
But I saw because Gordy knew when I was started hitting the scene. Gordy was my favourite player. I wanted to play like Gordy. My first origin of Gordy looked at me at the scrum. I thought, well, boys, we played for Australia. He goes, you don't belong out here, boy. I said, and that fucking hurt me. Fucking hurt me. He goes, you don't belong out here, boy.
Yes, I love that shit.
I'm like, fuck. And I started questioning. I was like, fucking do I? You know what I mean? And then all the games after that, it was just about fucking
you had to
even
show
though
him that
Gordy,
you did
even though Gordy retired and all that shit, I fucking belong out here because we've done talks and that before. But I said that hurt me, Gordy.
Yeah.
But it inspired me.
Yes.
I said because I'm like fucking oath I belong out here.
Yeah.
Then he retired from rep football in 2003. And I was just like, but that, I always told him, he goes, I knew that. He goes, he's fucking pissed himself laughing because Gordy's my fucking OG. I love the way Gordy played. I tried to emulate my game on Gordy and like a Steve Kearney sort of thing.
Yep.
Bit of nice offload, bit of aggressiveness, sort of stuff, like being intimidated but have a high skill set as well.
Steve Kearney was one of our best
Kearney's one of the
Kiwis, man.
Exactly. So I tried to emulate my game on those guys there. But but Gordy hit me with that when I was 22. I'm like, fuck. And I thought, well, boys,
you would have used it again on heaps of youngsters coming through.
Heaps of people. You don't fucking belong out here, boy. Everything. Yeah. All these young kids I used to say to, fucking club level, anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember the Origin was a good battle, but that's the difference between Queensland and New South Wales. They fucking Like I thought we were boys, played couple of test matches with Gordy and shit like that, and then he fucking hit me with that one. I'm like,
so you played test before you played Origin?
Yeah, I played 2 or 3 tests before that.
The year before?
The year before.
And he was good to you in camp?
Great.
Yeah.
Fucking unreal.
And then he gets the Origin, then he just flips
fucking
that
those
shit.
eyes fucking go straight at me at scrum. He goes,
First scrum?
fucking belong out here. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Oh, I love that shit.
Jeez, Gordy.
That
I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
No, but like that's the thing. There's no fucking friends out there. Once he said that, and I'm like, fuck, we played tests together and he said that shit. So I'm fucking going at everyone. But yeah, no one fuck with him, Gordy.
I love that.
No one.
There'll be more chat on Origin next week. Like I said, we'll break down the game, X factors, intimidators, who's going to be the Gordy Tallis for Queensland and New South Wales moving forward. But let's get into the NRL Round 13 preview. These odds are accurate as of 24th of May at 8:30 a.m. from our friends at the Tab. So kicking it off with the first game, the Dolphins are at home to the St George Illawarra Dragons. OG, I'm just getting up. So Mark Nichols returns from a thumb injury and he'll be a welcome addition to the side, missing Tom Gilbert and Felice Kafusi, who is suspended. Ray Stone and Herman Essa move into the starting lineup. Valens Tafade is on the extended bench. Hamaso is obviously out, so therefore Cody Nikarima shifts to fullback and the MILF moves into 6. Moving on to the Dragons, Jack Bird is back after missing a week, but Jaden Sewer is out with a minor hamstring injury. So Benny Mudders Masilla moves into the starting role. Jaden Sullivan is played halfback in Ben Hunt's absence. Michael Mollo comes into the starting lineup. Blake Laurie is out as well. And Moses Mbai returns to the bench. OG, our friends at the Tab have this game at, let me get it, just moving my notes, $1.50 favourites, the Dolphins, $2.60 underdogs, obviously with the big news that Ben Hunt's out. He's basically been the Dragons for the last couple of years. The line is 5.5, and it has been pumped in from the Dolphins, so minus 5.5 for the Dolphins at $1.85, and you can get plus 5.5 about the Dragons at $1.95, so the punters are pretty keen on the Dolphins, OG. How do you see this going?
I'm not. I'm keen on the Dragons. Their win last week. I know Ben Hunt runs their team, but this gives the opportunity for these younger kids to shine, right?
Yeah. A couple of big outs too.
You know, like maybe, like Jaden Sullivan's like, you know what?
Kafusi, Gilbert.
I can run this team. I can run this team. So Kafusi and Gilbert is a massive loss.
I'm with you, yeah.
And so is Hammer. That's about all they're losing, isn't it?
Yeah, Hammer, Gilbert, and Felice. Yeah, they're the biggest.
And they're big losses because they're the guys in the fullback that do all that dirty work. I just think, I think that'll be their sort of motto this week. So you know what? If Ben Hunt goes, I've got to show the new coach I can fucking run this team.
Correct.
I can run this team. We don't need.
That's
like,
what
I'm not going to say we don't need Ben Hunt, but if I'm Sullivan and I'm Amoni and I'm Sloan and Fainga and Sully and Lomax and all these young kids who haven't necessarily got the best out of Hook has got the best out of.
Yes, this is their opportunity.
This is the opportunity. Like, all right, I just need I need a new coach that can just have some confidence in me, leave me out there, let me play, because their forward pack can match anyone. Molo, both the Molo brothers are starting. Jack Bird's a dog. DeBellin's a dog. Murdoch Masilla's a dog. Mbai, Josh Kerr's a fucking big man. They got a team to beat the Dolphins. They ain't playing fucking Penrith.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 260 is very juicy, and I love the plus 5.5 even more.
Yeah, I'm back in St George. I think you'll see. I reckon you'll see the best out of the spine here.
Yep.
And then so just to show the new coach, like, hey, if you're going to get rid of if Ben Hunt wants to go, we got it.
Yeah,
we got it.
I just think
Ben Hunt's 33, bro. He ain't fucking 18.
I just think it's going to be more so around the freedom that they've now got, because they felt
restricted, suppressed,
restricted,
everything restricted. They can't play. They couldn't play like they wanted to play. Sloan can't do shit. You know what I mean? Like they just felt like they've been restricted for 2 or 3 years. They haven't got the best out of them. Hopefully, this coach just goes, "Fucking go, just play footy, boys. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Forward, you go forward. You block plays, all that kind of shit. A little bit of fucking structure to your game, but play footy, boys. Enjoy yourselves, because it looks like they don't enjoy themselves.
Yeah,
last week they did. They fucking won.
There's nothing better than enjoying yourself after a win,
especially after a coach going, and they would have fucking hated him. They would have been riding him for a couple of years. I'm telling you. I knew it. I spoke to the boys after the game when we beat them down there.
It was a long time.
Not a good thing.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. And I spoke to all the younger fellas as well. They just felt defeated. You could see it. They're just like,
I didn't even have to speak to him. You could read it. You could watch it. You could watch the games, and you could see, in particular, that performance against the Cowboys where Sullivan was sitting on the bench after that 10.
Yeah, he gets a shot. He gets 80 minutes now.
Yep. Let's see. I like the Dragons. So you going Dragons, OG?
Dragons, man.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Dragons.
I'm going to go the Dragons at $2.60. I think that's great value. All right, moving on to the first game of Friday night. The Parramatta Eels had a really good win last week, and the Cowboys got dusted. So the odds are accounting for that. The Parramatta Eels are $1.20 favourites with our friends at the tab. $4.50 underdogs about the Cowboys, with a lot of people missing. The line is minus 14.5. I think that might be a bit steep. The Eels are invited. Former Tiger Joe Offengower comes straight into the starting lineup with Junior Paulo missing with Blues duties. Ryan Madison and Davey are both out, so Dury comes back into the starting lineup. And Luca Moretti will make his NRL debut. So shout out to Luca Moretti.
They're only missing Junior, aren't they?
Junior's the only one missing for Parramatta. Whereas the Cowboys are missing Val Holmes, Murray Taulagi, Reuben Cotter, and Tommy Dearden, who could play, I believe, because he's 19th man. I'm not too sure. There could be something around. I remember 18th, 19th man's being allowed to play. Actually, that's what happened to Reid Marty a couple of years ago, right? He was 18th, 19th man. They let him play for Parramatta, and he ended up getting injured in that game against the Knights. So I wonder if they've...
And he could have played, right? It fucked him, like...
Well, he ended up missing a few weeks. Yeah, I think it did end up stuffing him around a little bit. So
I can't go past Parramatta. That'd be fucking awful if they have to lose this game. Especially if they've lost Junior. But I mean, like, come on, you got Big Joe there who's been playing some good football.
Just a potential big in, though. Jason Tomalolo is listed amongst the reserves. It could be a late inclusion, while Griffin Neem comes back into the team ahead of schedule alongside Jermaine Tanoa-Brown, who also missed last week. So they're getting a couple of the big boys back for the Cowboys.
I'd like to think they'll bounce back, but not bounce back to a win. It just won't be like 60. It won't be a flogging. I just don't think...
I like the start.
Parramatta's been like up and down, haven't they?
Well, this is a sort of game where a couple of things I want to see from Parramatta. Are you legit, and are you going to really fight? Because you've got to be in that. If you're going to win this competition, you've got to get in the top 4. You can't leave your run too late. So this is a great opportunity with a couple of Cowboys players out. But then on the flip side with the Cowboys, they're sort of in the same boat. And this time last year, they were missing 7 or 8 players. So they're starting to get troops back. Even though they lose 4 to Origin, they're starting to get 3 back.
Ben Hampton ain't a 6, man. He's a runner. So these backs aren't going to get fucking any ball.
6.
Zach Labour.
Can you see potentially Drinky playing 6 and Ben Hampton going to fullback role?
Yeah, I could. I just don't see him. Like, as I said, Junior Bolo is the only one missing.
Yep.
And if they can't win without just one forward, front rower,
good replacement in Offengower too.
Yeah,
comes over.
he's
He played
been
well
going
last
good.
week.
Yeah.
He was Tigers' best last year.
I was about to say that. And he's just digressed a little bit this year. Everyone's played. At the start of the year, they were just off. He's a good player. So
he could go down. He could be one of those real season defining changes.
He's played fucking Origin, Joe. You know what I mean? Like he knows what sort of level to get at. It's Dylan Brown and Mitch Moses. It's how far they go. It's whether
I agree.
They both need to be on. When they're both on, they're so dangerous. We just can't have one game on where Moses is on, and then Brown has a game, and then Moses has 2 games off, and then together. Brown. If they're on together, mate, it just fucking adds so much.
All right, I'm going to go Parramatta Eels, and I like the Cowboys with the 14.5 start. I don't think they're going to get blown out by more than 15. What do you reckon, AG?
Cowboys get beat by 15?
More than 15 when you get beat.
Yeah, I reckon Parramatta will give it to them.
Do you want to smoke them? Oh, okay. All right, interesting. So you're going to go the minus 14.5. Yeah. All right, moving on to the first game of Saturday with the condensed schedule. The Warriors are at home. The Warriors, OG, versus the Brisbane Broncos, who are missing a whole heap, obviously. So let me get to it. Luke Metcalf will make his club debut at 5'8", ahead of Ronald Volkman, who's missing because of that compound fracture that we talked about. Who else? Jackson Ford is back to start in the second row after missing round 11 with a head knock, while Wade Egan is out and replaced by Freddie Lussick, who's doing a good job in his in the games that he's missed. Tristan Saylor and Dean Mariner joined the backline with Reece Walsh and Selwyn Cobbo on origin duty, while Kenan Palacia and Corey Jensen are the new 2 forwards, with Payne Haas and Tom Flegler missing for their respective origin duties. Kobe Hetherington has been really good off the bench. He moves into the starting side for Paddy Carrigan.
Proper hitter.
The new faces are Xavier Willison. I really like Xavier Willison. I'm waiting for him to really kick on. And Brendan Piakura. With so many of his stars out, Kevin Walters will be hoping skipper Adam Reynolds is back and ready to go for this one, OG.
First of all, well done, Tristan Saylor.
Yep.
You know, it's well documented what he's been through in the last 2 years. And for him to come back, have that resilience, gone through a hell of a lot, and to come back and he's a starting fullback for the Broncos. You know what I mean? So big shout out to Tristan and his father, Wendell.
Shout out Big Dell. Love you, Dell.
Love you, Big Dell. And I know they've been through a hell of a lot as a family. So to see Tristan back there,
great story.
Representing the Broncos, like his father's one of their greatest players ever. It should be it'll be a hell of a lot. That family should be really proud.
Well, there was a bit of chat. This is obviously before Reece Walsh has gone on to do what Reece Walsh has done this year, but he was putting pressure on Walshy in pre-season. That's how well he's going. So it's great to see him finally get a run.
Just unlucky that there's got a superstar backline. You know what I mean? Like he can't really get in there.
There's some really good depth in that Broncos team at the moment. Benny Icon's done a great job, I reckon, of building that team. And I've seen there's a little bit of chat about sort of what went down with him and Kevy Walters at the end of the Broncos. So that's interesting the way that's played out. Shout out to the WARIORS preparation and what you're doing to buy. Getting Israel through, obviously, Kai Cutter France. Shout out to Kai Cutter France, the CBK boys over there in New Zealand. He got Israel to come down. Izzy.
Maybe just like grappling with him.
I've seen the pictures.
It's like Rob Whittaker with our boys going out there with Rob Whittaker. You know what I mean? Like they were doing that once a week, and he was just out there all the time. They're so humble, those blokes, man. They're rock stars in their world. But when they, it's always good when you go there and you can just have a chat with them. They're just normal people, man.
I just think it's another really good sign of where the Warriors are at this year, Mace. Like you know, we were a bit what's the word? We got after Bradman Best. We're a bit critical of Bradman Best, but you know, there's layers to that story.
He wanted some ink, and he was out there helping a family. We're just quick to jump on him.
But the Warriors getting after it, getting the CBK boys in there.
Yeah.
Great preparation.
I'm fucking umming and ahhing about this game.
Yeah, $1.43. Oh, sorry, I didn't even get to the odds with our friends at the tab. The Warriors are favourites at $1.43.
They are favourites.
And the underdogs are the Brisbane Broncos, $2.85. Payne, Haas, Carrigan, Cobbo. Walsh.
Yes. You know, Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors. And do you think they can beat them by more than 8? Because the line is -7.5, $1.85, plus 7.5 about the Broncos. I reckon
they can, yeah.
I think the Warriors can.
It's at home, right?
Yeah, I think the Warriors can do a number on it, mate. All right, give me the Wars at both $1.43 and minus.
Yeah, just because when you mention Carrigan, Flegler, Haas, they're the big dogs.
Here's where we might get some value. So the South Sydney Rabbitohs are at home on Saturday as well versus the Canberra Raiders. They are $1.70 favourites with the Canberra Raiders $2.15 underdogs. The line is -2.5, $1.95. But, OG, they're coming for the Canberra Raiders at that start. So a lot of people think if it's going to be a coin flip, they don't mind the Raiders. Obviously, the big ones are Latrell Mitchell. He's out with origin duties. Campbell Graham has been named to play despite withdrawing from the New South Wales squad with a sternum injury. That's an interesting one, OG. So Do you think, obviously, I think he deserves to be in that team somewhere. He's been involved in the squads for the last couple of years. He knows what it's like to be 18th, 19th man, 20th man, or whatever it is. And he's just Do you think this is a bit of frustration?
I just want to go back to club.
He'd rather play than sit to club. There and be 18th,
and I'll play and I'll force my way back. I'll try and force my way back into the side. You know, he's got a sternum injury, but he's playing this week.
Well, yeah, a lot of people have sternum injuries where it's like, fuck.
And he probably can't do anything in camp anyway.
Correct.
So at least he's going to get treatment all the time because you're going to be because the other physios are going to be treating all the other stars anyway. You're not really going to be getting first preference. But when he's at South, he's going to be getting treated all the time. And he's safe.
But, devil's advocate, what if something, worst case scenario, happened to an outside back and he's withdrawn himself?
Criticism.
Yeah. But for him, so he's withdrawn because he wasn't able to train with the sternum injury.
And they bought Critter in for him?
Yeah, so he withdrew because of the sternum injury.
Yeah, okay.
So he's playing this week. What if, so Fox, right? So happy for Fox, but he's been out for an extended period.
Anyone.
Tommy Turbo. What if something happens at training and he's withdrawn himself?
Teddy.
You'd like to think, fuck. I hope that's not the case.
I mean, what else could be the case then?
Maybe a little bit of frustration.
Would it be frustration?
That he thinks he deserved to be,
I don't think he doesn't strike me like that. Or maybe he just goes, well, coach, can I just go back and play for Souths and, go pick something. If I'm not in the starting side, I'm not just going to wait around.
Yeah.
It would have been a conversation like that, hopefully. Nothing like I'm sooking. It's like, I want to go back and play some good football for Souths. Souths need me. They pay his bills at the end of the day.
Correct.
And he's a clubman. Fucking great clubman if he's doing this.
Killing it.
He's killing it. He does deserve to be somewhere in there, but he's not, he's in the squad, but he's probably just thinking, well, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It never does. But there's always that chance.
I know, mate. I know.
Because you got Turbo. Turbo will be on minimum duties all week. You just got to get him through the game.
Fox will do as well.
Same as all the boys. You just got to get it. I mean, they'll get through this week. They've got a lot of promotions to do, a lot of fucking travelling around Sydney and doing all these things and schools and everything they do, the New South Wales side, which is great. Freddie really loves doing that, being really into the community and all that kind of stuff. And you're not just talking Sydney community, you're talking New South Wales community. So they're all over the place.
The first couple of days.
Yeah, so a lot of media commitments. But if he's doing this, I think he would have had a proper talk with Freddie. Like, I want to go back and just play good club football. Or he's proper fucked. They might just be naming him just for the sake of it, and he probably won't play.
Well, another guy that they've named,
if he's properly ruled out.
Another guy that they've named is Keon Kaloa-Matangi. He is back from that leg injury just in time to put his best foot forward. If something was to happen for New South Wales, it's good to see him back. Liam Knight moves into the starting lineup in place of Cam Murray, who's obviously missing as well. Blake Taff, he comes back in for Latrell Mitchell. The Raiders are without Hudson Young, Origin, and Elliot Whitehead suspension. So Corey Hutawera-Naida comes in the second row. Joe Tarpany moves to lock. Basimi Solo will play prop. Zach Wolford's return from a head knock pushes Danny Levi to the reserves. Nick Kotrick makes his return from a hamstring injury as well. Matt Frawley is listed among the reserves.
Raiders all day.
Raiders with Big Papa and Jack White.
Yeah. They'll take full advantage of South's being out. I know South's got some good depth, but like Latrell, Cam Murray, that's enough for me.
And then
Jai Arrow.
I'm thinking about matchups already, and I'm thinking about mindset. Jack White and going to South next.
Yeah, he wants to carve up.
I think he would want to carve up for Canberra.
Yeah,
I think
him and Cody will be going at it.
Yeah,
they'll be fucking going at it.
Yeah.
I like the back line that's Canberra have. They're tough. Still got a good pack when you got Tarpanay and Papali'i in there. Hudson Young does a lot of work for him, but I mean, like he's replaceable.
They've pretty much got the same they've got the same back line as they've had. They're just missing just Huddy Young. Yeah, the back row. It's
Elliot
the back
Whitehead's
row.
been pretty good for
him.
He has. But they should win. They'd be fucking disappointed. They'll be pissed off about last week's game.
Yep.
Manly fucking put it on them.
Sticky was
so
furious.
Ricky's, they'll bounce back this week.
All right, moving on to the last game. First game on Sunday. Newcastle Knights at home, where they play a lot better than what they do when they're away against the Manly Seagulls, missing a couple of big names. Newcastle, with our friends at the tab, are $1.35. Manly are $3.25 underdogs. The line is 9.5, and that's been pumped in the way of Newcastle. Minus 9.5, $1.85 now about Newcastle. Plus 9.5, $1.95 about Manly. The big ones are obviously Daly Cherry Evans and Tom Travojevic for Manly. But Kalen Ponga stint at 5'8" is over.
Oh, thank God.
Time. They've moved him back to fullback in place of Lockie Miller, who drops to the interchange. Tyson Gamble will partner Jackson Hastings in the halves, which I believe is the
should have been the start
move. And I think it's if you're in and around that Knights coaching stuff, you sort of feel maybe a little bit guilty that this potentially cost Kalen Ponga his Origin jersey. Adam Mallett
would have been on purpose, but I mean, like they're just trying to think of something else, and you're trying to think, that Miller's going all right, and let's try and get him into a different sort of role. Like, fuck, man, he's a top 3 fullback in the world. or top 5, you know?
Midweek signing, Jake Arthur, another big midweek signing. Jake Arthur comes straight into the 22-man squad. However, Cooper Johns will replace Daly Cherry Evans at halfback. KO Weeks starting at fullback in the absence of Tommy Travojevic, while Toa Foa Sipley joins the 17 in place of injured Jakey Travojevic. So, Mace, the big ones, some really big names out for Manly, and then Kalen Ponga back to fullback is a big one, and then he'll have a point to prove, won't he?
KP's pissed off, and so's Gags.
Gags too. Fuck, I forgot about Gags. Saifidi brothers.
Saifidi boys.
Both been in and around Origin the last couple of years.
They'll be thinking, you know, if we do lose, hey, I'm next man up. So that'll be their mentality. Manly's still very susceptible. Schuster's got to pick his defence up. Ola Kawatu's been off for the last couple of weeks. I don't know what they're doing with him.
I think it was just like
I think a lot of teams are game planning for him, and they're not really giving a shit about their left side.
He'll be a bit pissed off. So
he'll be filthy. He's not even
game.
like, you know, they put Big Steph in front of him at like 18th, 19th man.
And Tavita in a way.
And T. Yeah. So he'd be like, oh well, fuck, you know, I'm supposed to be there. But I think Newcastle has the firepower in the middle to match him. As I said, this is a fucking game that they look forward to. They mark this down. As I said, this is when the Chief and, you know, all these other...
A lot of history.
The Butterfields and all these, you know, the guys from 97 come rolling in, especially in a home game. They start rolling in before the game, and you see that, you feel their presence, you see them, and you're like, fuck, you know, you talk about what happened in 97 and all that kind of stuff. So, like, you're playing for more than just yourselves there.
There is a different feeling. I remember playing Newcastle back in the day with this. Especially at Newcastle. Two teams that I felt like there was different energy was Melbourne Storm and Newcastle Knights when I got there.
Yeah, because you understand because of that the Battle of Brookie.
Yep.
And the 97 grand final.
Yep.
That's it.
Correct.
It's the history of the game. And, you know, Newcastle hasn't got a massive history. They haven't been around since like the Rabbitohs or anything like that, or Roosters, or even like the Bulldogs since 35. And, you know, they've only been around since 88.
Newcastle, Manly, mate?
Newcastle.
By more than 10?
No.
Do you think Manly will keep it close enough?
Yep.
All right, I'm with you. All right, let's get it on. And there is no chasing the Grateful 8 this week. It's the chasing the Grateful 5. Look at the green for our partners
Green Lantern.
at the tab. So I'm going to kick one off with a big boy, a guy who loves to score jam, our boy Muddus Wallace. For the Dolphins against the George Illawarra Dragons. He loves it up at Suncorp, and you can get $7.50 about Muddus Wallace. Moving on to the first game of Friday, or the only game of Friday, Mitchell Moses at home. We said it. If Parra are going to win, if Parra are going to be anything, Mitch Moses has got to stand up, $3. I like the new kid on the block at the WARIORS, Luke Metcalf. I think he's his try scorer, and you can get him at $2.75 against the Brisbane Broncos. And the last two, these two will be my levels, Punters Club Bets Friends channel special as well. So
you got that out well.
I got this time nice and clean this week.
You nailed it.
So a guy who's hopefully he's clean and ready to go. Campbell Graham, I think he's got a point to prove. Didn't make the New South Wales.
What if he's
team.
not ready to go? You got a backup plan?
No, fuck that. I reckon he plays because I reckon that's the mindset. I'm thinking he's going to be a bit pissed off. He's going to come and
I hope so. I love Campbell.
I'm thinking back to last year when Fox didn't make the team. Bang, he comes out and scores a double.
All the great ones do.
They do. They bounce back. So speaking of another great one, a guy that I love watching play as well, Kalen Ponga. $2.25 at home against Manly in his preferred position of fullback. You put those two together, I've got them two to also score for the LPC in the first 60 minutes, and the traders have given us a nice price of $9 with a max bet of $25 for that. So you can find that in the LPC on the Bets Friends channel on the Tab app only. Okay, OG, as always, we want everyone to be playing safe during the footy season, so please keep front of mind, what are you really gambling with? And if you need free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. You can find all our current LPC bets under the Bets Friends banner on the Tab app. OG, looking forward to this week preview and getting back next week and breaking all things down Origin.
Should be fun.
Enjoy your footy, and we'll see you at the No Limit fights in Melbourne.